What is up, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of the Gran Turismo 4 Germanlocke, episode 10. Last video, we had a bit of a blast in the past, if you guys have been watching my Let's Plays before, with Gran Turismo 2 Plus, and we picked up an Audi S4. Now, of course, the GT2 Plus stuff was in the B5, and last time out was in the B6. We're 8.6% through the game, so not a lot, honestly. Got the B&A license. We've done 358 miles in A-Spec mode, which I feel like I should have done way more. What are we on? Day 162 of the game? So, let's see what we still got to do. It's been a while since I filmed, and that's been pretty much by design. In the meantime, since the last time I filmed, I've gotten engaged. I've gotten sick. It's been a very rough couple of weeks. I'm still recovering from whatever illness I've had, so I may sound kind of gross, and I apologize. So let's see what is there left to do here. So we've got the Boxer Spirit, we've got the World Classics, the Compact, the Supercar Festival, and the GTWC in our professional events. The only which we can do right now is the Boxer Spirit, which typically means that the roof would be involved. But I want to see here if there's any events on this side of the game we can do. So I'll need the IA for DTM, which kind of sucks. So we'll probably have to go through both of those licenses at some point. But we can do the Schwarzwald Liga A, and I gotta kind of decide what I'm gonna do here because the money's a little short, as you guys can see. So it's a little bit difficult to get another car to do this, considering the garage we do have. But I was alerted that I can get a DTM car by doing the Opel Speedster Cup, so we are going to do that. I totally forgot that that was a thing, because in my actual playthrough that I did years ago for this channel, I used the Astra. So this time, but I could get the Calibra through the Opel Speedster Cup. So we're not going to be doing that this episode, but we are going to do that in the future. So let's see, does the Polo get access to the Schwarzwald Liga A? I know we've done a lot of VWs on this series, but I'd imagine it is allowed. Okay, I figured. So let's see, what can I do here? Because I don't want to run the Polo just yet. The Polo deserves its own day in the sun, so we'll do that at a later date. How much is that Mark V GTI going to cost me? Because this was the car I wanted to run in Schwarzwald Liga A. Let's see, do they have it in the same... I guess Black Magic Pearl Effect is about as close to my car as it gets. So, let's see, do I want to do this? I mean, we've done a lot of Volkswagens on this series. But what hurts to add another? We'll have 16 grand to throw at it, which I think is a good budget for, keeping us in line with how that series is going to go. So, should be able to take this down to HPA and let them tinker with it in the virtual world. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to focus on mostly cornering with this car, but I am going to get some power added into this. We're very limited budget. More than likely we'll do the turbo upgrade, and that'll probably be about as good as we'll get. Wrong thing. So stage 1 turbo is 4,600 credits. That'll get us up to 218 horsepower. Okay. We're going to do it, but I am kind of bummed about that very tiny horsepower gain when we're going to be racing, fairly mid-200s horsepower cars. But financially, we're kind of limited at this moment. We are going to go ahead and throw on the chip. Should net us another 9 horsepower, so always forget these old EA113s were not the most powerful engines in the world. So yeah, our tight budget is definitely not helping us out here. We are going to go ahead. Always forget about the oil change. This should pump us into the 240s. And as much as I love the stock wheels on the Mark V, we are going to change them because I'm trying to get this car similar to my own car, my Mark 7 that I own in real life. So let's see if they have any wheels that look kind of like my countergrams that I run on my real car. Sports softs, I mean, it's probably about as close as I get to a Pilot Sport 4S in the world of Gran Turismo. Even though I think that's more like a Cup 2. I think the sports mediums will be closer in line to the PS4S. So, let's see, what brand should I look at? let's take a look at OZ or Oz, however you want to pronounce it. See if they've got a wheel that's extremely similar to my Koenigs that I run in real life. Doesn't look like there are. Darn, I was hoping we could find something fairly similar. Those look like RPF1s almost. And those are NK wheels though. Let's see if NK has something kind of like what I'm looking for. Doesn't look like they do either. I mean, these look close-ish. I don't think we're gonna find anything close to my countergrams. Nope. Oh well, those last OZs look kind of similar. Those Rays got. Obviously, we could throw some T's on this thing. Doesn't look like anybody. Oh, those look just like the countergrams. Okay, we're going with these. They look very similar to my countergrams. Can you put a wing on this? I just want to see how this looks. I'm not doing. Oh my gosh, it looks dumb. Okay, we are ready to race now. Let's just see how this goes first. With how short our budget was, I don't expect this to be a winner off the rip. Maybe it will be. So let's see. We've only got 3 rounds, so might not be the worst thing ever. 4 laps of Opera Paris and Autumn Ring. Is this the full circuit? Yeah. And 3 laps of Trail Mountain. So we'll see how this goes. Like I said, I'm not looking for a miracle here. This does not look like this is going to be a race that this car is going to absolutely crush. Let's see. We got an Audi S3, a 330i, a TT 3.2, a Z3M Coupe, and a Z4. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm hoping my short budget will give us a bit of a help, give us some help here. Oh man, this is not looking good so far. We're getting some serious performance issues this time out, which is weird. Usually haven't had performance issues with this one. I don't know why it would be having performance issues. I don't think it's doing anything out of the ordinary. Okay. Anyway, we'll just focus on the driving for now. We'll see if the game runs a little bit better as we go on. Yeah, the 330i. So far, I mean, it's doing a lot better. That launch was awful. But we're kind of catching back up a little bit here, which is making me feel good. You know, I feel like I know what's going on. For some reason, the driver for my T300 RS wheel is extremely goofed, and I have all sorts of really weird errors on this computer when I don't reset the driver on the wheel, which I have to unplug the wheel and plug back in to do. So that's what I just did, because I've noticed I have so many weird issues with games whenever that wheel's plugged in and it hasn't been reset yet. I've reinstalled the drivers. I've done everything imaginable. I don't know why it does that, but it's always done it. So, well, it didn't when I first got it, but it started doing it one time and never stopped. So I don't know. So I have to unplug it, plug it back in every day. So the S3 is doing exactly what I thought it would do, and that is give me some trouble. But the rest of the group isn't really proven to be too much of a threat. But that all-wheel drive system on the S3 is going to be the death of me here. Man, whatever that thing's got done to it, it is quick. Let's see if I can get him here. There we go. Man, I knew this thing wasn't going to be the fastest thing on Earth, but dang. I like this though. Like, it's been kind of a challenge, but it's like been enough of a challenge for me to not win by 15 seconds, but simultaneously, like, you know, I'm not getting my butt handed to me like I was in the HPA car. I've always had a soft spot for the Mark V gen, and you know, I've talked a lot about the R32s in recent episodes, and it's by far my favorite VW. Me and my fiance were talking, and I said one of the first things I want to do once me and her are kind of settled into our married life, after, you know, late next year, is you know, I want to get my hands on a Mark V R32, because I mean, just look at this thing. A lot of people aren't going to like it, but when you're coming from the Mark IV, I mean, this is a much better looking car, and I love the Mark IV. like, and that with that VR6 powertrain and the all-wheel drive, sure, it only came in DSG in the US, but I know how to. I've done a lot of research and know how to rip the auto out and replace it with a manual, so I can fix that problem. So yeah, that's kind of one of my goals, is to kind of wind up with a Mark V R32 within, you know, a couple years after me and her get settled in our life, once we're married. Obviously, married life takes precedent. I mean, I think that goes for anybody, whether you're a car enthusiast or not, when you're in the situation I'm in now. But, you know, we're kind of pulling away a little bit. Thought for sure this would be a lot better of a fight. I mean, I was able to get around everybody, sure. Oh, crap. Taking air. Fun fact, you know GT5, like a couple of cars, if you took that hill and flipped them over, I think the R34 was one of them. You could see like it was like a model car. I don't know if it was an Easter egg or if they actually used a model car to model the car in the game. Man, take a shot every time I said model car in that sentence. But I noticed that, and I was just like, that is so neat. And I think even the Mines R34 did that. So, yeah. This thing is definitely not as grippy as I'm assuming that S3 is back there. But this was what I wanted to build this car for, was this series. So I'm pretty stoked I was able to do such. You know, this turbo, I'm watching the boost gauge. It just dies once it gets up in the RPM. It's very much like the IS-20 that came on my Mark 7. Of course, now my Mark 7 has a 3071 on it, so it definitely does not lose boost at our red line anymore. If you guys want to follow my main channel, I have it linked. I don't know if it's in the description. I know I have it linked in the featured channels, though, if you guys want to see my actual Mark 7 in action. Ironically enough, I think episode 6, which is the HPA R32 car video, when that goes live, I'll actually be at a VW event, or a couple of days before a VW event that is based entirely on R32s. I didn't notice that until after I scheduled the upload, because I filmed episodes 1 through 7 pretty much, or yeah, 1 through 7 in a day and some change, all back to back, and scheduled them all. That's why, if you've noticed, the playlist is already like pretty expansive. I'd imagine by the time this video goes up, it's probably into the high teens in episode counts that are saved. So, I mean, I'd imagine that. But I filmed them all in bulk and then schedule them all at the same time. So that way I can kind of sit back and watch once I finish filming this series. And I can take a break. That's what I did with GT2 Plus. I filmed all those episodes pretty quick succession of each other. And then took a break from filming all together for this channel while those videos were still posting until we ran out of uploads. Aside from like the Project A-Spec videos I did, the 2 videos I did covering Project A-Spec, I did those kind of in between while all those videos were still posting. So, you know, I'll prepare us to the track I am not a fan of. So this will be interesting. We've got a TT VR6. We've got a Golf R32. So I have to battle my dream VW here, after I was just talking about it. We got another M Coupe. We've got another S3 and a Z4. So this should be a pretty interesting one. A lot of VWs out here. A lot of VW representation in Audi. So, I mean, I figured it's the German-only league here, and there's only 6 German brands to pick from. So, and not a lot of cars at this lower end. But this track is definitely going to be suited for the S3. So, I'm curious how this is going to go. Like, all the all-wheel drive cars. Like, obviously, the Z4 and the Z3 are no slouch in the corners. But I feel like this is going to be the track that I have the biggest fight at. Oh, that wasn't my corner to take, but it's fine. If I can get him here, though. Intel is definitely not based on the DSG. The DSG from this gen was not fast, but I mean, it's faster than this shifting, so I can tell the game definitely is basing the Mark V off of the manual transmission car. Come on. Come on. They're pulling away a little bit. Sad part is I feel like a Mark V could make the numbers that ours is making in real life on the factory turbo. Like, I know the Mark V doesn't respond as well to tunes as like the Mark 7 does, but like, man, like 240 is pretty easy to do with some ignition timing and some boost. But that's always been my complaint with the Gran Turismo games. Like, to get 400 horsepower to the Mark 7, which if you guys remember, I did like a short video with no commentary back in December, I want to say, or right at the beginning of the year, of a Mark 7 I built in Gran Turismo 7 that made 400 horsepower. I had to fully build that car for that. My Mark 7 in real life, all I did was a turbo upgrade, some intake work, the intercooler, and a high-pressure fuel pump in a tune, and it made 400, or just under 400. So I'm like, that's always bothered me with GT, is like you have to do extensive race builds to make power that the cars can make in real life. Whereas with Forza, it's a little bit more realistic. I wouldn't say by any means that it's the most realistic in terms of that regard either, but I've noticed it's definitely a lot better than GT is with that kind of stuff. Come on. I figured these VR6 boys right behind me would be giving me a hard time in this one. This is definitely a more, like, all-wheel drive focused race. I forgot to mention, too, you probably just noticed, the controller I'd been using up until this point, it was an on-off switch on the brakes and the gas. Whereas with this, I can kind of feather it a little bit, as you can see. I'm actually using a controller I'd been using on my Steam Deck, which was an Xbox Series S controller. But I actually switched over to a PS3 controller for my Steam Deck, because I actually like it more. and it was my childhood controller that I used the same day I got GT6 when I was a kid. So I brought it out, and I actually really like it. So I switched over to this controller for PC, and because I was sick of some of the weird issues I was having with the 8-bit DO controller, like the random disconnects and stuff you guys saw. I think in episode 2, actually, whichever one I can't remember at this point, which one I got stuck at Hong Kong with in the Lupo, which I'm pretty sure was episode 2. Man. 4 laps is interesting, considering like these are similar lap times to what we were all just running at Trial Mountain. I don't know if it's like a distance thing because this track is smaller than Trial Mountain. This track is so narrow though; it's like Monaco but worse. Granted, I'm not a city circuit guy by any means, with the exception of Monaco. I always get really bummed out when I watch tracks get replaced in F1 with city tracks. Street circuits, and we have 2 of them on the US leg, but I spend a lot of time watching motorsports. I really do. And I mean, I play a lot of Sims too, so like, you know, I have pretty much all of them this morning. I do want to do a video at some point, if it hasn't already happened, to break up this Germanlocke series, comparing all of the Sims that I've played, because I've played pretty much all of the current market ones except for Assetto Corsa Competizione. I've played iRacing, I've played R-Factor, I've played Le Mans Ultimate, I've played Automobilista, I've played the original Assetto. Maybe it's time I do a video comparing all of the current gen active sim games that I've played, because obviously I can't say anything about ACC since I haven't played it, and while it is on sale right now for like $9, I'm probably still not gonna get it because I don't need to add any more Sims to my library, because I've got all I need here. I only got Automobilista because it was on sale, and it's the only sim that's compatible with my Steam Deck. So that way, if I ever get bored and want to play a sim on the go, I can play it on the Steam Deck. Since I can't do iRacing or R-Factor on it. I don't know how I feel about iRacing, but I'll save my opinions on all these games for that video. I don't want to sit here and, you know, pretty much make that video reiterating what I would say here. I will say, like, out of all the old sim games that I've played, like, pre-PS3, which, I mean, only really gives me a handful that I've actually touched. Pretty much this, Gran Turismo 3. I think that's it, really. I don't think there were many Sims that came out in PS2 that I played. Automobilista was a thing. that Capcom racing game, but I never played it. And plus, I heard the North American version was dog water anyway. I want to get a hold of that game at some point. I think that'd be fun. Probably get it on either Xbox or on GameCube, since I need to get my 360 library better. I got my capture card, and I barely even use it anymore. It's kind of a shame. Maybe I need to get back to doing Forza 4 streams. I have to, I quit doing those for a while. That's the one thing that sucks when I have races like this where I win by a good margin, is like I have to think of ways to be entertaining instead of actually having close battles. I'm surprised that this race has gone my way as well as it has, because I figured I didn't make enough horsepower. I figured that the only thing saving me are these tires. I'll make less power than the TT and the R32, so I don't know how in the world I just pulled that off by such that big of a margin. But we did. So, witchcraft, I guess. Alright, we got one more race left in this series, which is kind of nuts that, we're finishing a series this fast. But, I mean, we did get rolling pretty quick. Alright, so we got Autumn Ring, and that'll wrap up this series. And then we'll see what we get for a prize card. I'd imagine we get a German card for the prize card here, because it's a German series. Sorry, had to open my email, had to make that cut there. It's technically a work day for me, and I'm filming this, but I've got not really a whole lot going on at the moment, so that's why I'm filming. Is there better things to do? Yes, but why not take some time and do something I like to do after working hard this week and all that stuff. So anyway, here we go, the final round here of this series. Let's see what the Mark V can do, so we can get one more win with the Mark V. Probably the most dominant VW we've had so far since the blue R32 earlier on in the series. But not quite as dominant as that blue R32. Was this a one? Is that a 1.8 or TT? I can't tell. I didn't get a good look at the plate. I actually really like that 330i. I wish they had done the 335, but I don't know if the 335 was out when this came out. That was something they added to the lineup after this game came out. But at least there's some N52 action in here, even though I'd much rather see the N54. Alright, so we got the R32 in the front, and we've got what looks like another S3 here. So this track is kind of interesting, because as you can see, I'm not able to corner as well here. Come on. Ooh. It did not like that braking. Come on. I wish I could figure out how to get my wheel to play nice with this. If I still had my Logitech, it'd be one thing. But apparently, it's way harder to get a Thrustmaster to play nice with this stuff. Come on. So far, this is the closest race. Looks like that's an A3 VR6, so... I thought it was maybe an S3, but... Oh, he understeered pretty bad there. I just couldn't get the power back down. Come on. A little bit of a switcheroo. We got him. For how long, though, is the question. Because he can take these corners way better than me. Come on, put the power down. The joys of front-wheel drive cars versus all-wheel drive is they can put their power down and you can't. The only advantage is the weight advantage. So I'm sure the A3 and the Golf R32 weigh way more than this does. Man, that traction control is hating me right now. I thought about going flat out through there, but I figured that was about to be a bad idea. I actually have come to like this track as I've gotten older. When I was a kid, I wasn't really crazy about it. As I've gotten older, I've kind of learned to like it a lot more. Came a little wide there. A big runoff there. Would not mind them bringing this track back for GT7. And at this point, I feel like Polyphony's never going to bring back tracks we actually want to see. Seattle Special Stage Route 11. And if they do, they're just going to do like how they did Grand Valley so dirty. Man, that traction control is so invasive on this car. I mean, I figured it would be. It's front-wheel drive, for crying out loud, but man, let me drive. Man, this field of view is not great. Granted, I've been pretty opinionated in the field of view in this game. Man, traction control is hating this. Oh man, the understeer is brutal. There we go. Come on, there we go. Money. I do wish this car would hold boost to red line though. Because it immediately just peters off when it shifts. I bet this thing had a bigger turbo. It may not actually spin as bad. It's going to move the power band up. One thing I've learned from owning mine is that these cars are very torquey. That's what I love about German 4-cylinders and American 4-cylinder turbos. They're torquey. You know, Japanese 4-cylinders, you have to rev them out. And they don't really have a lot of, like, grunt low end. They're more happy in the high RPMs. That's what I like about German and American engines, is they just hit. And they can still be just as capable in the horsepower department. Oh man, this corner. This car hates this corner. It was a little bit better that time. Originally, I wanted to build this for the Turbo Sports series, but then I decided to go with, I believe it was the Opal I did that for. Well, finally went wide on that corner. We're doing so good. Man, that traction, if that traction control didn't interfere as much, this thing would probably be a little bit faster a lap. Come on. New PB? Yes, sir. Best way to close that out. Beat my fastest lap. See, only 4-second gap this time, so not too bad. That was a 3.2 TT. I totally thought it was a 1.8 with how slow it was. Not gonna lie, that was pretty fun. Not too bad, not too shabby for the Mark V GTI. Give us another $5 grand. Let's see what our prize car is for today. See, do we get anything cool? Let's see. Watch it be like a Carmen Kia. Oh shoot! we definitely got something cool. I was not expecting the M3 GTR. Am I mad? Absolutely not. But holy crap! Okay. Yeah, let's just build a 240 horsepower Volkswagen. We just come home with one of the most legendary, like, GT race cars of the last 20 years. Oh my goodness. Oh man, so that sets us up for, I think, like the Pan Euro Championship and stuff. I don't think we can run it in the DTM. Let's see. Do they have? They don't have a little list. Oh, let's find out. I mean, I can't do it right now because I don't have my IA license to drive. I could do B-Spec, which is fine, but that wouldn't be fun for you guys. I did not see that coming. Getting this car out of all cars. Like, if only the gear whine was as loud in this game with this car as it was in real life. Let's see, can this enter DTM? It can't. I figured it couldn't. I figured that car could not touch DTM. But what's Lake B? So that's like the big dogs: R6, Art Roof, RGT, the W12 Nardo, the McLaren SLR. Man, I don't even know what to do the rest of this episode. Usually these episodes are like 40 minutes, but I ain't got nothing else to do. Yeah, pretty surprising little go-around with the Mark V. I did not expect this car to be as quick as it was. I fully expected it to be a bit of a dogfight, if not me taking some serious L's this episode. Because, I mean, come on. I mean, I had 240 horsepower. It's a front-wheel drive car going against, 260 to 300 horsepower cars. So to come out on top the way it did is kind of surprising. So I got to give that car some props. I mean, I think, so far with VWs, aside from the HPA, we've done pretty well. I mean, the HPA kind of was a letdown. But, I mean, the Blue R32 was really dominant. The Mark V was really dominant. The my Lupo was not bad at all. I mean, it took its fair share of L's, but it was able to pull out all the wins it needed to in the end for, this playthrough to proceed. So, big ups to that car. But, yeah, I'm excited to see what we mess with next. I really don't know, because I don't want to do 2 back-to-back VW-based episodes. Because, I mean, we've got, over here, we've got the Boxer Spirit, which means the roof would come back. But I've been wanting to build another car here, which only really leaves the RGT and the CTR. So more than likely will just be my 3400S, because I don't, obviously, as you guys can see, we only got 15,000 credits from that. World Classics, I need the IB, and World Compacts, I need the IB license. And then for DTM, I need IA. So I have no clue what we're going to do next. More than likely, we'll just do the Boxer event, because that's really the last one I can do in like the main racing series. And then from there, we'll figure out what to do next. But anyway, guys, hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give a like and subscribe for more content coming soon as we continue on with GT4. Thank you, guys.